Hi guys, so today's video is on this, which is the 60th anniversary Sonic Screwdriver. And I say 60th anniversary, there is some debate on whether it's a special or if it's 3 episodes, but who knows. So this is the one that has been seen in some of the pictures on Twitter and on Instagram and some various other platforms. And this is basically my variation of it. And I say variation because it's not fully visible, so you don't know what it is. There's a lot of blurry, grainy images, so this could be really close, it could be really off. There's no real sort of saying until there's any decent images of it. So basically the top of the Sonic is, you know, this section that you sort of see. That's generally what you see in the pictures. The top here, this is an old red LED, large LED that blew. And so what I did was just took off the diode legs, just snapped them off, and popped it into this silver tube section here. And then the side sections here, this is off of an old LED USB, which basically broke. And so those were bent to shape, and I put the copper wire through, drilled 2 holes at the top here and 2 into this plate at the bottom. And so basically that goes from the bottom through and down, and that ties it all nicely together. The section just below here, that is actually off of an old 11th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver cage, the silver bits. That was just basically the perfect size of what I needed to. It's slotted in over this metal section here, and it just, the shape seemed right to me, so that was put onto place as well. You've then got this clear channel in the middle, which is made of glass, and that already had the pre-drilled hole through it, and I've just put in some white wires through the middle. So it's very reminiscent of 10 Sonic in that piece there alone. You've then got 2 wooden beads either side of this bottom section here, and they are just glued onto this metal ring, and just inside of that metal ring is an old TV coax connector for an aerial. And then I cut a section of tube just below that, which basically extends it ever so slightly, and then it sits in the bottom section here, which is off of an old doorknob base, so one of the ones that's sort of screwed into the base, and that's the whole bottom section. If you press the button, it lights up blue. It's got an LED at the top underneath the diode here, and just one underneath the tube just before the silver section finishes, and that's what helps it light up. Now the wooden handle is from a broom, and a lot of the pictures I saw, it looked like a wooden handle, which is why I went for that. Some people said that they thought it might have been part of David's original Sonic, but it looked too bulky for that. It's got this little button here, which you can see in some of the photos of it, and that just activates the light. And then, as I said, the bottom section is tricky because you don't see any images of it, so this is my own interpretation of the Sonic itself. And this is the bottom of a MIG welding section, and then this part here I think was off of an old barometer that I took apart, and it just sort of fits in snugly, and that does come out. I haven't glued it in place or anything, so if it turns out that the top section's alright and the bottom isn't, I can change that. But from grainy images, I think I've not done too bad of a job. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. It's an interesting design for a Sonic, and I'm not 100% sure what I think about it, but this took me 4 hours to put together, and that was mainly sort of putting together the components to make sure they all fit and looked right, and getting the scale of the top section right within comparison of the handle, and you know, sort of testing it for fit and going, does that look like the image? So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. There's a few people who originally, you know, there was a design that was put up and it initially had this similar sort of section at the top, and then it was David Tennant's original handle and then a Matt Smith base. But again, I think that was just a case of people can't see the full handle itself, so it was up to people's interpretation of what it would be. So yeah, as I say, I went and watched them film on Tuesday last week in London at Camden Market, because I saw the pictures on Twitter And I'm like, I know that place. I was like, that's Camden Market. So decided to get into the car and go down to Camden on the tube. And yeah, it was interesting to watch. I've never sort of watched them film Doctor Who before. And you know, you had David there, Catherine Tate, Bernard Cribbins wasn't there. Jacqueline King was there. The guy who plays Donna's husband was there, and obviously the forgive me, the lady who plays the new Rose. I can't think of her name. And they were there filming. Russell T turned up. You know, everyone was sort of shouting his name, and Rachel Talalay was there as director. So there was you know, a lot of bits and pieces. You didn't see a lot because they'd sort of cordoned a lot of it off. You could, you know, if you had a good vantage point, you could sort of see what was going on, but it was rather difficult at times to actually see what was happening. But yeah, I'm interested to know what the situation is, because obviously Tennant has a different costume. He's got Jodie's TARDIS, and obviously the new sonic screwdriver. So, you know, there's been some speculation as to him possibly being like a regeneration, or a regeneration that's gone wrong. So some people theorise that Jodie's Doctor goes to regenerate and gets thrown back as David's Doctor, and he basically then tries to replicate his old outfit and sonic screwdriver, and that's why he looks the way he does, and you know, yada yada. It's an interesting concept, maybe. It sounds plausible, and you know, it'll be interesting to see what they do. You know, there was a lot of like big explosions that were supposed to be going off at Camden Market, and people looking at spaceships and things that weren't there. So it'd be interesting to know what the storyline is, and I'm interested to know how they're gonna bring Ncuti into it, because you know, some people have said that, you know, this is like a, you know, if it is a regeneration gone wrong, that, you know, David does some bits and then, you know, into 14 properly, but who knows? You know, there's lots of speculation there. But I'm certainly interested to know with regards to Ncuti. I'm excited, but you know, interested to know, you know, TARDIS interior, TARDIS exterior, his costume, his sonic, just where Russell's going to take it, how much of the Chibnall canon he's going to keep and what he's going to get rid of, because obviously it's known that the Timeless Child and storylines like that are, you know, somewhat, you know, people aren't 100% with them, so it'll be interesting to see whether he keeps that, whether he continues it, or whether he sort of goes nope and just starts afresh. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, give us your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the Sonic? And if you haven't already, you can go and follow me on Instagram on the same handle at biodoctor900. I post regularly more on there than what I do on here, and it's not all Doctor Who. There are pictures of Harry Potter and Supernatural and Sherlock and Stranger Things and photos of the cat. So yeah, there's a few different bits and pieces that you might be interested in looking at. And yeah, if you've liked this video, then give it a thumbs up. And yeah, again, if you've got any thoughts and opinions, then leave them in the comments. I'll certainly be interested to see what some people think. But for the time being, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.